North Korea has long been a country shrouded in controversy and mystery. The stories that emerge from within its borders often feel like they belong to a different era, not the 21st century. Yet, the reality is stark and unsettling. The regime is notorious for its relentless suppression of its own people, with punishments, starvation, and executions being tragically commonplace. In this video, we're going to delve into some of the most harrowing punishments inflicted on North Korean women. What you're about to hear is not for the faint of heart, so brace yourself. This is a chilling glimpse into a world that's as shocking as it is heartbreaking. Let's dive in. In North Korea, K-pop isn't just music. It's seen as a dangerous threat to the regime's ironclad control. The government views South Korean pop culture, especially K-pop, as a kind of cultural poison that could erode the loyalty and unity of its people. As a result, the penalties for enjoying K-pop are shockingly severe, turning something as simple as listening to a song into a life-altering risk. If you're caught with a K-pop album or a video of your favorite group, you could face years in a labor camp. In extreme cases, individuals have even been executed for promoting foreign cultural influences, which the regime considers an act of betrayal. The crackdown doesn't stop at music lovers. Parents, too, can be punished if their children are found engaging with this forbidden content. The regime takes this so seriously that they've been known to conduct house raids, searching for any unauthorized media that might threaten their ideological grip. The black market for K-pop is a risky lifeline for many. While it provides a way to access the music and culture people crave, it also comes with the constant fear of being caught. The irony is striking. North Korea itself produces clothing and media that mimic the very K-pop culture it condemns. Yet, for ordinary citizens, wearing anything that resembles Western or South Korean styles can lead to fines, imprisonment, or even forced labor. This isn't just about music, it's about control. The regime's harsh penalties reveal a deep fear of the power of culture and the human desire for connection and expression. For North Koreans, the love of K-pop comes at a price, one that underscores the oppressive reality of life under the regime. North Korea's regime has earned a dark and infamous reputation for carrying out assassinations beyond its borders, often in ways that feel like they're ripped straight from a spy thriller. One of the most shocking cases involves the assassination of Kim Jong-nam, the estranged half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. In February 2017, Kim Jong-nam was attacked at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia with a deadly nerve agent called VX, a chemical so toxic it's banned in most countries. What makes this even more chilling is that the two women accused of carrying out the attack claim they were tricked into believing it was part of a prank for a TV show. The methods used by North Korea in these operations are as calculated as they are terrifying. The regime often deploys highly trained agents skilled in espionage and covert operations, using disguises and fake identities to slip under the radar. For example, agents have been known to pose as diplomats or business people, blending seamlessly into foreign environments while plotting their deadly missions. Another harrowing example dates back to 2010, when North Korean agents reportedly targeted Hang Jang-yop, a high-ranking defector who had fled to South Korea. The assassination plot was foiled, but it underscored the regime's ruthless determination to silence anyone who dares to challenge its authority. Over the years, North Korean operatives have also been linked to the killings of individuals tied to South Korean intelligence and even foreign critics. These acts aren't just about eliminating threats. They're also meant to send a bone-chilling message to anyone considering defection or dissent. Despite widespread condemnation from the international community, North Korea continues to operate with a brazen disregard for global norms. These stories aren't just shocking. They're a stark reminder of the lengths the regime will go to maintain its iron grip on power. While many countries face food shortages due to natural disasters or economic crises, in North Korea, the government weaponizes hunger as a tool of punishment and control. It's a chilling reality that adds another layer of suffering to an already oppressed population. The regime has a long history of prioritizing the military and the elite, while ordinary citizens are left to struggle for even the most basic necessities. During times of famine, like the devastating, arduous march of the 1990s, the government funneled resources to the military and loyal party members, leaving countless others to starve. This catastrophic period claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people. Even today, food scarcity remains a daily battle for many North Koreans. But this isn't just about shortages, it's about the deliberate use of food as a weapon. Those who fall out of favor with the regime face targeted food deprivation. In labor camps, inmates are often subjected to severe malnutrition as punishment. Guards wield food as a tool of control, rewarding compliance with meager rations and withholding them from those who resist. Imagine the unbearable choice between obedience and your next meal. This is the grim reality for far too many. The government maintains strict control over food distribution, leaving citizens to rely on a dangerous black market to survive. Official. Rations are pitifully inadequate, forcing people to take enormous risks to feed themselves and their families. Getting caught can mean imprisonment, or worse. Desperation drives many to eat whatever they can find, from grass to wild herbs, just to stay alive. This isn't just a story of scarcity. It's a story of a regime that uses hunger as a means of domination, turning something as fundamental as food into a tool of oppression. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the lengths to which the North Korean government will go to maintain its iron grip on power. In North Korea, even the simple act of moving from one place to another is tightly controlled by the regime. Citizens need official permission to travel between cities or provinces, and that permission is almost impossible to get unless you're part of the elite or have connections to the government. For the average person, the chances of approval are slim to none. Imagine having to apply for a permit just to visit a different city, whether it's to buy groceries, see family, or handle personal matters. Even if you manage to get approval, you're still subjected to intense scrutiny, as if wanting to move freely within your own country is a crime. The regime's paranoia about dissent means that traveling without the proper permits can lead to devastating consequences. If you're caught, you could face imprisonment, forced labor, or worse. This constant fear keeps people trapped, unable to move freely, and creates a deep sense of isolation and hopelessness. Families are often torn apart, unable to visit each other, as relationships suffer under the weight of government control. And then there's the border. Crossing into South Korea or China is strictly forbidden, and attempting to defect is one of the most dangerous acts a North Korean can take. Those caught trying to escape don't just face punishment themselves, their entire family can be targeted, often sent to labor camps or subjected to even harsher penalties. This creates an environment where people are too terrified to even consider leaving, even if they know life beyond the border could offer them freedom and opportunity. To enforce these restrictions, the regime relies on a vast network of surveillance and informants. Neighbors are encouraged to report any suspicious behavior, fostering a climate of fear and distrust where everyone feels like they're being watched. This constant monitoring ensures that people stay in line, reinforcing the idea that freedom of movement is a privilege reserved only for the elite. It's a system designed to control, isolate, and suppress, a stark reminder of the lengths the regime will go to maintain its grip on power. Imagine living in a world where your fate isn't just tied to your own actions, but to the perceived sins of your family, even generations back. In North Korea, this isn't just a nightmare, it's a reality. If someone is accused of treason or disloyalty, their entire family can be dragged into the abyss, sent to labor camps where they might spend years, or even their entire lives, enduring unimaginable suffering. This isn't just punishment, it's a calculated tool of control designed to crush any spark of dissent before it can ignite. Generational punishment creates a climate of fear that stretches far beyond the individual. Families live in constant dread, knowing that one misstep, one moment of defiance, could doom not just the accused, but everyone they love. The regime uses this brutal tactic to enforce loyalty and obedience, ensuring that people think twice, or 100 times, before speaking out or stepping out of line. The psychological toll is immense. People aren't just worried about their own safety, they're haunted by the fear that their loved ones could pay the price for their actions. Defectors' stories paint a grim picture of this cycle of punishment. Families live under a shadow of paranoia, terrified that they'll inherit the consequences of a relative's alleged crimes. Even children aren't spared. They're branded as outcasts, denied access to education and employment, forced to carry the weight of their family's past like a life sentence. It's a system designed to break spirits, to silence voices, and to ensure that no one dares to challenge the regime's authority. This isn't just about punishment, it's about control. By tying the fate of entire families to the actions of one person, the regime ensures that fear runs deep, that loyalty is enforced not just through force, but through the unrelenting pressure of knowing that your loved ones' lives hang in the balance. It's a chilling reminder of the lengths the North Korean government will go to maintain its grip on power, and the human cost of living under such a system. In the grim and oppressive reality of North Korea, the treatment of prisoners reaches levels of brutality that are almost unimaginable. Among the most horrifying reports is the claim that prisoners are sometimes fed to dogs. This isn't just some dark rumor. It's a chilling testament to the regime's utter disregard for human life and its willingness to instill terror at any cost. These stories often come from defectors who have managed to escape the regime's grip, carrying with them harrowing accounts of what they've witnessed. They describe a system where prisoners are subjected to inhumane conditions, and punishments can be as extreme as being thrown to packs of dogs. In some cases, guards reportedly use this method as a form of execution, a grotesque display of power meant to crush any hope or resistance among the inmates. Imagine living in a place where your life could end in such a horrific way, simply for being accused of defying the state. One particularly haunting account comes from a defector who described witnessing a fellow prisoner being fed to dogs as punishment for attempting to escape. The guards, in a horrifying show of cruelty, unleashed their dogs on the prisoner, turning a human life into a gruesome spectacle. This kind of brutality serves a dual purpose. It eliminates anyone deemed a threat while sending a terrifying message to others about the consequences of disobedience. These stories are more than just shocking. They're a stark reminder of the lengths the North Korean regime will go to maintain its control. The use of such extreme and dehumanizing punishments reveals a system built on fear, oppression, and the complete erosion of human dignity. It's a reality that's hard to comprehend, but one that demands our attention and empathy for those who endure it. In the shadowy depths of North Korean labor camps, inmates are subjected to unspeakable horrors, including being used as human guinea pigs for medical experiments. Defectors have shared harrowing accounts of being forced to undergo testing for diseases, vaccines, and even chemical agents, all without their consent. These prisoners, stripped of any autonomy, are often lured with false promises of better treatment or reduced sentences, only to endure unimaginable suffering. One of the most disturbing aspects of these experiments is their connection to North Korea's development of biological and chemical weapons. Political prisoners are reportedly used to test the effects of these deadly substances. Defectors have described being injected with unknown chemicals, then left to suffer or die without any medical care. Those who survive are often left with lifelong health complications, a grim testament to the regime's cruelty. But the horrors don't stop there. Reports also detail forced sterilizations and other invasive procedures, particularly targeting groups deemed undesirable by the regime: defectors, religious practitioners, and minority communities. These acts are part of a broader strategy to suppress dissent and control the population through fear and suffering. Communication in North Korea is another tool of oppression. The vast majority of the population is cut off from the global internet, instead restricted to a heavily censored internet called Kwangmyong. This state-controlled network offers only a curated selection of propaganda, ensuring that North Koreans are denied access to any information that might challenge the regime's narrative. Telecommunications are equally monitored. Personal mobile phones with international capabilities are banned, and basic phones can only make domestic calls. Texting and other forms of communication are restricted, with every interaction subject to scrutiny. A network of informants ensures that even private conversations are risky, as discussing anything critical of the government can lead to severe punishment. For those who dare to access foreign media, like South Korean dramas or foreign music, the consequences can be dire, including imprisonment or forced labor. This pervasive fear keeps most from even expressing curiosity about the outside world, effectively silencing any potential dissent. Defectors often lose contact with loved ones back home, leaving them in a painful state of uncertainty. The regime exploits this separation, knowing that the fear of repercussions will keep defectors silent and discourage others from attempting to escape. These stories are more than just shocking. They're a heartbreaking reminder of the lengths the North Korean regime will go to maintain its control and the immense courage it takes for those who dare to resist. Public executions in North Korea are a horrifying reality, serving as a stark and brutal reminder of the regime's iron grip on power. These aren't just acts of punishment, they're carefully orchestrated spectacles designed to instill fear and enforce loyalty among the population. In a country where dissent is crushed without mercy, the regime uses these extreme measures to keep its citizens in line, ensuring that no one dares to challenge its authority. The details of these executions are chilling. They're often carried out in front of large crowds, including local citizens and officials, to maximize their psychological impact. The regime strategically chooses locations like public squares or stadiums, ensuring that as many people as possible witness the grim events. This is all part of a calculated strategy to demonstrate the dire consequences of disloyalty and to remind everyone that the government holds absolute power over life and death. Defectors' accounts reveal that the reasons for these executions can be shockingly trivial. People have been executed for crimes as minor as theft, watching foreign films, or even attempting to escape the country. In some cases, individuals are accused of being anti-socialist or engaging in behavior that contradicts the regime's rigid ideological standards. One defector recounted witnessing an execution of someone caught with a South Korean soap opera, an act considered treasonous by the North Korean government. The methods of execution are often gruesome and vary in their brutality. Some reports describe people being shot or hanged, while others mention even more horrifying methods, such as being killed in front of dogs. This level of cruelty serves a dual purpose. It eliminates anyone deemed a threat while creating a terrifying spectacle that leaves a lasting impression on those who witness it. It's a grim reminder of the regime's willingness to use fear and violence to maintain control, and a heartbreaking glimpse into the lives of those who live under its shadow. The mere mention of North Korea's Kwanliso camps is enough to send a shiver down your spine. These are the regime's infamous political prison camps, where countless citizens are subjected to unimaginable cruelty and suffering. Hidden deep within the mountains, these camps are designed to keep the regime's darkest secrets buried far from the eyes of the world. Once inside, you're stripped of your identity, reduced to nothing more than a number, a faceless prisoner, trapped in a living nightmare. The overcrowding is beyond comprehension. Defectors have described filthy, cramped cells where hundreds of people are packed together like animals, forced to sleep in shifts. The lack of sanitation and medical care leads to rampant disease, and many prisoners slowly waste away, their lives extinguished in these hellish conditions. Food is scarce and often used as a tool of control. Inmates are subjected to backbreaking, labor, mining, logging, or building infrastructure for grueling hours each day. Failure to meet impossible quotas can result in beatings, torture, or even execution. The guards rule with absolute power, using fear, humiliation, and violence to crush any hint of resistance. Prisoners live in constant terror, knowing that even the smallest mistake could lead to unspeakable punishment. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect is that entire families are often imprisoned together. Children grow up in these camps, knowing nothing of the outside world, their lives shaped by the brutality and despair that surrounds them. Thanks for watching this episode. If you're still here, don't forget to check out the video on your screen for more eye-opening content.